Hello, gays. I'm assuming that we're all fam in the club. We all fam. I assume it's just us. What's up? I missed y'all. I fucking missed you, twin. I fucking missed you. Listen, I've been trying to make time for this forever. I've been trying to make time for this forever. Also, welcome to the sanctuary of sanctuaries. We have finally made it to the level of kinship where you can see my bedroom. So, haha, what's up, shawty? Yeah, this where the magic go down and all that. No, so much. Okay, so and I know we need to talk.
Yeah.
You got a heart of gold, just like your
Woo! Okay, so listen, this is a take two. I recorded 20 minutes of this episode before I recognized that my mic was off.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
And I went back to try to watch that footage, and there was zero audio whatsoever. Wow. Okay, so I don't know I don't know shit right now. Let us breathe together. All right, so listen. I think we're just gonna, whatever the universe has in store, we're just gonna go with that. So I think I was on a good roll. So yeah. Last we spoke, in this episode that you did not get. Last we spoke, I was letting you know that this is a closure episode. We will be talking about love and heartbreak and all those things. So I'm about to reintroduce you back into that space. And now that I've gotten here to this point, I'm ready to fucking open up. So let's give this some contextual background. So right now I am single. My book is in the works. I'm still employed. That's good. I still have my house. Also, this was, at first, I was really shook at y'all being in my bedroom. And you missed the whole, emotional drama of me being like, oh my God, this is so intimate. Oh, wow, you in my room.
You're in my room!
And now I'm just like cool with it. So if you're shocked that you're in my bedroom, welcome to my room. This is my bedroom. This is what it looks like. If you've ever been curious, you may or may not see it in person one day, depending on whether I fuck with you or not. The emotional context of this conversation is in honor of my book coming to the world soon. I wanted to get into it a lot. And because also I have trauma now. And because also I am single and that's a new development, and I just got out of a tumultuous relationship finally again. Like, mind you, we broke up in June. For sure. But we've been fucking with each other on and off for a while, and that's finally over. So I wanted to talk to y'all. Also, yeah, I was showing y'all that I got a retwist. And it wasn't by that lady. Are you not proud of me for not dragging my chocolate black ass back to her house with an excuse because I needed my hair done? Yeah, I actually paid somebody good money to get my hair redone, and I will continue to pay her good money to get my hair redone on a regular basis. That's what it's. So boom. I'm gonna tell you the entire story. I'm gonna give you my entire saga of my love life, and that is written about a little bit in my book. So this is context. This is context for those stories that you will be reading in my book that doesn't really have any background context. It just kind of gives you what it felt like. Don't shame me about my cat being on the bed either. This little lady, this black woman, refuses to do what the fuck I tell her to do. So The bed is something that I refuse to have to fight over anymore. I'm just gonna let her have it. It is what it is. If you want to take my black card for it, shut the fuck up. We're not doing that, right?
I used to open my door to pretty much anyone who was trying to look for a place to feel safe, but I made my whole world safer for everyone but me.
Take a moment to breathe in with intention. Let's take a moment to reposition ourselves in this experience and take what we need from the blessing of what this life is. Take what we need and leave what we don't, and allow ourselves to just be present for those experiences and for our eye to be open and aware to perceive the lessons and blessings that come to us. Let's take a moment to take another deep breath in with intention and knowing and understanding that there is great purpose in who we are. I've also, so that is where I've been on a very spiritual journey lately. So lately I have been doing a lot of introspection. I've been doing a lot of openness, a lot of work. Also, if my voice is a lie, I'm sorry, I'm sick. I decided to make this podcast knowing I was sick because I needed it. I need these podcasts probably more than anybody else. These episodes are cathartic. They're eye opening. They're evolving. I watched an episode of my podcast a couple of days ago, and it was healing, which was surprising to me. I wasn't expecting to hear anything in that podcast episode that was really going to make me feel positively. Um, Especially because I have a hard time with knowing that y'all are perceiving me and that I'm being perceived, and walking out of that light and understanding that I'm meant to be known is a journey. So I'm allowing myself to embrace the fact that I'm meant to be known by others. I want for you to know me. I want for everyone to know me. There's no benefit in being, and there's no purpose for me in my life to be unknown. It's only the illusion I carry with myself to not feel the pressure of what it means to be perceived, the fear of identity and other people being able to identify you and able to label you and able to put you in the boxes and the confines in their mind that they believe you belong in. And then all of that with the combination of your past and people having the ability to access those and make judgment based on that is like, that's a lot. That's scary. It can really be hard to maintain your self identity while being perceived and hearing those judgments and critiques. And as someone who literally thrives on criticism, whose entire identity is linked to using criticism to improve myself, um, there's a weariness in knowing that other people will be able to actively openly critique you. And as someone who's trying to constantly use that to be better, that that in of itself is a double-edged sword. And knowing and understanding that everyone's critique of you is not what you need. Some people are just going to have their opinions of you be their opinions, and being able to discern, being able to tune that out, that's something that I'm working with myself on. Being able to tune out, being able to not need the validation. And that is a space I'm operating in now. Is I have started to realize that I'm doing a lot. I've done a lot in the last week, 2 weeks. I don't even know how long it's been, but I've done a lot recently, years. I don't know, for validation, superficial validation, and I'm trying to move out of that light. So yeah. So this is the episode where we talk about what love has been for me. Talk about how transformative love has been in my life. So yeah, so I'm gonna give you some. I want to give you the whole story. I want to give you all the context in the world, right? So I'm gonna name 4 individuals who have shaped me with names that aren't their names. So we have Jamie, we have Whitney, we have Anna, and we have Space. Um, all these people, Space being the most recent, has contributed to some transformative identities. Um, around love. And I've learned that a lot of what I do in relationships is about self-preservation. I think um, the one thing I prioritize in my relationships, no matter how deeply I allow myself to devote myself to another human being, I think I always hold on to this. I'm latched onto the string of thought of I have to prioritize preserving myself, because trauma life experiences have taught me that if I'm not looking out for me, that I will be taken advantage of. And I refuse to allow someone to take advantage of me. And so in relationships, when you're dealing with another person that is not yourself and your priority is preserving yourself, it can be tumultuous. But mind you, everything is divine, right? So I'm not mad at the fact that I've had deep love with people, and I've had deep love for people, because I can't say with, because I can't interpret someone else's experience of love with me. Um, I've had deep love for people and chose myself at the end of that conversation, at the end of that experience, as like, yeah, I need to remove myself, because I sense that the awareness around me, your you don't have a real perception of what it means to consider me. And so I can't allow you to not consider me. I can't allow you in my space and you not to be considerate of who I am. I can't allow you to take me for granted to any capacity. So like, once I start to identify that I'm feeling like I'm in a space where someone is no longer having their awareness around me, then I start to leave that relationship. Okay, so boom. Let's just get into the story time of it all. So, my first love, actually, let's just talk about space. Let's talk about space, because I was in Whole Foods today crying. I was in Whole Foods today crying. Why were you in Whole Foods today crying, friend? Are you okay? Am I okay? I'm trying to be. I'm just recognizing that I'm heartbroken. Um, and the reason I want to have the conversation about the nuance of the entire experience is because I'm recognizing that I'm not just heartbroken over space. I'm heartbroken over love as a whole. Like, I have I have been in love. I have been in love. I have been in love. Fall in love, you fall in love. And I have to keep making I have to keep making the decisions to, and sometimes it's not even my choice, but I have to keep making the decisions to walk away from love with other people for my own self preservation. And this is like, space feels like the ceiling is collapsed on that adventure. Like, it feels like that is starting to crumble for me, like, a nigga is tired of having to make the right decision. When you get to a point in life where you just want to rest. You just want to rest in someone else, Like, you just want to feel whole, you want to feel safe, you want to feel complete, you just want to be there. Like, I don't know, like, love is something you want to be in. You know what I mean? Like, love is something you genuinely wholeheartedly want to be in. When you fall in love, you want to stay there. And it's like, damn, I just want to lay here. You're like, I'm tired of not being able to lay down for real. Now, mind you, I'm in no rush to be in love. Again, I'm just vocalizing what my recognition of this. I'm also tired of abandoning, which is the conversation I had with myself a couple of weeks back. Is I'm also tired of abandoning myself to be with people. I feel like there's definitely a version of myself I have to be able to let go of, to invite other people into my space, to create some version of, to continue to perpetuate the version of me you fell in love with. You know what I mean? And realistically, there's so many versions of me, and I have to I have to allow them to be there. I have to allow every version of me to be present. And the challenge is not so much that I should like that I haven't found anyone able to embrace me and its totality and whatnot. It's like the challenge is all of these characteristics of self have so many different have so many different identities and characteristics, and it's hard to feel comfortable being all of me. And as a non-binary person, um, it's hard to feel like you can be feminine and masculine with the people that you fuck with, especially as a woman loving women. Um, you really feel nervous about showing up as the feminine version of yourself to someone who has only been able to perceive the masculine version of yourself and vice versa. And it's not even just the masculine and feminine. Sometimes it's just like there are ways you need to be loved. You know what I mean? Um, there's ways that you need to be identified with. There's languages that you speak, and sometimes the person you're with that you love deeply and fondly and is not as nuanced and complicated as you are. Um, Sometimes the person that you're with, I think it's too much to expect for them to perceiving when you're changing and how that change is taking place. I think, being intuitive with your partner and having the foresight of recognizing what their needs are, that's something that's a natural skill that you do or don't have. And you do or you don't have it. It's just very straightforward. But I'm recognizing within myself, I'm kind of feeling a little exhausted from the process of feeling like I have to walk away from people that I really want to be with over and over and over again.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
And burning bridges after bridges. And I was talking about Jamie for a little bit, and that experience and feeling like that was the one time I'd ever been in love with somebody that I felt like did not expect anything of me. I felt about that, and then in the end, they killed themselves. And yeah, I have been holding on to Jamie in my heart for over a decade. And I wouldn't say that I have been comparing other people to that idea of what I want for myself, because I don't believe that anyone is anyone else. I like the uniqueness of how love comes to me. I love that no person that I'm with is ever the same. I love the experience of having entirely different experiences with humans. But I've been holding space for someone who will never be here. And I'm starting to recognize that a part of my problem is I hold space every time. Like, I hold space after every relationship for that person. So, all the way from Jamie to Whitney, and being so in love with Whitney and having to make a choice that I feel like, honestly, this is one of the moments where I'm like, yeah, that was on me, because I didn't have the emotional maturity and availability to be honest about what I was experiencing and allow us to have a conversation and just grow from something so minuscule. I blew up the whole spot because I felt like I didn't feel like she had boundaries for herself, and I didn't feel like because of that I felt like she couldn't have boundaries around me, and it was always going to put me in a situation where I was forced to cross her boundaries. And so I'm really big on that still to this day, because I don't like to be in positions where I'm forced, where I have to try to find your boundaries for you in order to not intrude on them. But even then, like, I didn't do the right thing in that moment of having a conversation with that person and being mature about having a discussion to grow and overcome that. I think I just didn't have the emotional availability to stick around and choose someone. So I just didn't have the ability to, like, I just had no devotion. Like, and so I can love you with all my heart, and if I don't devote myself to you, it's really not meaningful.
Swear you came down like a comet. You be all in my dreams like I'm
You know what
fucking
when like somebody dies suddenly and you have no time to grieve during their living experience, and like you have no time to process what happened, so you constantly hold space for this person you know is no longer there. Like you know that person's not coming back. When especially when it's death of the living, which is a completely different experience. I think death of the living, when someone dies that's still around, when someone dies for you who's still on the planet, it just feels like I'm just gonna hold a little bit of room, like a missing person. Like I'm just gonna hold a little bit of room in case you're back, you know, and doing that subconsciously because I think I trained myself to be like, I have to hold space for you. That's how I felt after Jamie. I felt like I had to hold space for Jamie. Like I need Jamie to always feel that I love them. Like I need you to know forever. I need you. I can't let go of the space because if I let go of the space, did I ever really love you? And that's what it's like for me, for real. And I cannot believe y'all got me crying on camera. That's crazy. Um, I can't let go of the space because if I let go of the space, did I ever love you? And so the challenge when it comes to death of living people or death of a relationship, um, when you are telling yourself in your mind, like, I can't let this go because if I let this go, did I love this person? I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to hold the love I have for this person in my heart forever. And even though it's unrealistic to ever believe that something can evolve out of that, I'm just going to hold it because it won't hurt me to hold it. But really it's like I hold the aspect of it that's the death too. Like I don't allow myself to let go of what broke my heart. I don't allow myself to let go of the part of the story that's like something that I feel like I could have done better. Story because sometimes the writing is on the wall when you get there. But I feel like sometimes that's what it's for. Like that's what the relationship is for, is for you to to be in it. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it might have been plain as day from the jump. It might have been plain as day from the jump that this shit was not going to work out. But I needed to completely invest and envelop myself in something with this person because it just felt right. And I just don't believe in distrusting my intuition. And so I allowed myself to continue to go into that relationship despite the writing on the wall from the beginning, despite you only being out of your last relationship 2 weeks ago that was 3 years long, despite all of the indications that there needed to be some healing for you first, there needed to be some growth for you first, there needed to be some healing for me that I was completely unaware of. There needed to be some growth for me that I was completely unaware of. And so I needed to show up in that relationship and be there. So I hope that my one thing that I really hope for space um, is that from the experience of me, is that my presence in your life um, illuminated light on where you can grow and how you can be better in love for real. And it's a process. So I don't expect that I'm going to be the overnight solution to all of your love related problems. But I hope that wherever you choose to place your love next, you do it wholeheartedly. Um, and so the same thing is true with Whitney and all the others. And, like, I think it's important to acknowledge that like heartbreak is real, like a real sensation that you have to make room for in your life when it comes to you. Like sometimes it's hard to make that space because you are so willing and able to push past it. And when I was watching the Megan documentary last night, a part of what really made me feel connected more to Megan was the sensation of like, when she was like, yeah, my mom died and I just like, I got to keep going. The same thing has always been true for me is like, sometimes something happens in your life that you should breathe. You should take a minute and sit back and reflect and breathe, but you're like, I gotta keep pushing. I gotta get over this. Um, So you go at life with like I'm just gonna grieve while I'm gonna grieve while hustling. I'm gonna grieve while making my money. I'm gonna do, that's just I'm gonna run it in the background, like it's a subconscious program. Like I'm gonna just let my subconscious work that out, and I'm gonna keep my eyes locked on what I need to do for myself. But it's not something you can like. It's a huge amount of weight that is carried subconsciously when you try to work that in that direction. So um, you have to give yourself room. You have to push everything around you out of the way to give yourself room to be heartbroken. And I think a part of my experience now is like, yeah, I'm still having fun. I'm still like allowing myself to live my life. And I know I'm not turning, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not spending a block on that shit ever again in my life. I'd rather throw up in my head and put it back on my head. But yeah, I know that that's not worth it for me to do again. Like, and hopefully we never even become friends again. I just don't have room in my life for that type of relationship dynamic. Like, when you always, that when you like, when you were in love with somebody. When you
Have you ever had a dream that you had you could you do you want you could do so you do you could you want
when you but when you were in love with somebody, you know what that means for you. Like, I can never genuinely be your friend if you pull up on me with a bitch in your passenger seat. I'm gonna feel like I want to slap the shit out of you and her. And so, like, like, hopefully that's not a neighborhood I revisit, school thought I ever revisit. I'm saying this out loud to remind myself that it's not something I need. um I'm doing just motherfucking fine. But even in the process of allowing myself to have fun and experience life and just going with the flow of things, what's been heavy on my spirit since the new moon is like something is blocking me. And I think it has everything to do with the fact that I'm unwilling to allow myself to be heartbroken. So in this moment, I'm choosing to actively in front of you on camera. I'm choosing to allow myself to feel heartbroken by everything that I have felt heartbroken over. I'm choosing to allow my childhood self to feel heartbroken about being abandoned. I'm choosing to allow my heart to feel broken over not feeling good enough for people that I felt like should automatically have already assumed that I was worthy of love, that I should not have to work for, that I should not have to fight for validation in my life. Like, I'm choosing to be heartbroken again. I'm choosing to be heartbroken for losing somebody I love so deeply at a young age. Choosing to be heartbroken for allowing my body to be used in ways that I didn't agree with. I'm choosing to be heartbroken over holding space for people who won't come back for me. I'm choosing to be heartbroken. It's worth being heartbroken over, because it's worth feeling shattered about. It's worth allowing the teenage version of myself to cry, because I never allowed her to cry. I never allowed her to live. It's worth being heartbroken for leaving myself and abandoning myself for other people. It's worth being heartbroken. It's worth being heartbroken. It's worth being heartbroken. It's worth being heartbroken. It's worth revisiting. It's worth going back to. You need it. You need it. Thank you for holding space for me. Thank you for holding space for me. The season is winter. This is a time to allow grief, sorrow, transition, heartbreak. This is your season to experience sadness while also giving yourself space to experience gratitude. This is a season to have pain and anguish and love and life. This is your opportunity to harvest your own love, your own compassion, your own identity. Freeing yourself of the judgments of shame and disgrace and misery and disappointment, regret. Regret is just grief of what was mixed with the unknowing of what ought to have been. And in saying that you regret something, you're saying the unknown of what ought have been is more important to me than what already is. So free yourself from feeling like now is not as meaningful because something that could have never happened did never happen. Love, 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 love you. Thank you for having this conversation. Y'all should join me. Like, if I'm crying in the room by myself, then this means something. This means something. Because I never cry. And if you know me in real life, you know that's very true. I have just started crying recently. And that's a gift that I have given myself, is allowing myself to cry. Oh my God, it's the greatest gift I've given myself in years. It's the greatest gift I've given myself in years. Because I need it. Man, I can cry when I need to. I can cry in Whole Foods. I'm not ashamed of myself. I'm a real human being. I'm a real person. Yeah. Thank you. I will see y'all next time. I'm gonna be better about these episodes. I know I say that every time. I know you're sick of it. I know you're tired. I know you're done. But yeah, I just want y'all to have these conversations with me more. You know, like, let's show up for each other. Let's be together. We ought to stay together. But yeah, hopefully this conversation you feel better for having together. And I'll see you again so I can talk to you, talk to me, and we can talk to we, whoever we ought to be. Bye. Yeah.